Oh, yes, Mel. Australian racing royalty, Michelle Payne. Thanks for joining us on Lunch with Flem. I think you asked for a bit of green tea, which is a good idea in this sort of heat here. Oh, it's a beautiful brew, isn't it?
It's a good brew.
Hey, Michelle, what about growing up? You grew up in Miners Rest on a farm, but horse racing was part of your family's blood.
It was. My dad was a horse trainer and a jump jockey beforehand, and being the youngest of 10 kids, I was the 8th jockey, so probably destined to be in it. But Dad never pushed us to go that way. We're just a very competitive family by nature, and yeah, from as young as 5 years old, I was absolutely obsessed and couldn't wait to get out there and, you know,
Start riding.
Yeah.
And, we'll get back to that. But what about, were other sports being played in a big family like that around Christmas time?
Oh, absolutely. Like even now, like Christmas Day is full of games. Like we'll start with board games, table tennis. There's always a game of cricket early in the morning, and then have a bit of lunch.
I think we've got a photo of it there. Look at that. Yeah. And what were you providing cricket-wise? Would you like to have a little bit of a slog with the bat?
I don't mind having a go, yeah, but I'm a good fielder. That's where I'm most useful.
And we love people with dreams. And at a young age, did you tell some friends that one day you were going to ride the winner in the Melbourne Cup? Is that true?
Yeah. There was actually an interview which they play at the start of the movie where I said I just want to win the Melbourne Cup when I was 7 years old. So it was, you know, a lifelong dream and ambition. So to think it actually happened, when I watched the vision of Prince going over the line in front, it's still hard to fathom and believe, but yeah.
Well, we've got it here though. Like, so it was 100 to 1. What was your strategy going into the race?
Look, what I love about racing is the tactical side of it. So many different tactics, and there's Stevie drawing barrier 1. Stevie drew barrier 1 for me on Derby night, and that's why I gave him a big hug. I was like, thank you, mate. You know, without barrier 1, I don't think we would have won. And there's so many different elements involved with racing between winning and losing, and yeah, it was my day that day.
At what stage, I mean, you were confident straight away. At what stage did you think, I reckon I'm going to get home here?
Approaching the 600, I thought we'd had the perfect run. He was a bit keen through the race, but I was absolutely bolting. I was like, oh my God, I think I'm about to win the Melbourne Cup. And, you know, I just basically had to keep my composure from there to the finishing line. And that last 200 metres just felt like, you know, you couldn't even imagine. I think I was floating on air. You know, it was amazing.
So you get over the finishing line. Can you remember the euphoria? Straight afterwards?
Yeah, I remember just going over the line, shaking my head, thinking, oh my God, we've just won the Melbourne Cup. And Frankie Dettori, who ran second, he was, you know, he was obviously frustrated to get beat, but he was so congratulating. You know, he was so happy for me, so it was great.
And what about seeing your brother Stevie for the first time as a Melbourne Cup winning jockey?
When Stevie and I did the walk, you know, back up that famous Flemington race with like hundreds of thousands of people cheering us back in, it was like such a surreal moment. To share that with Stevie was like one of the greatest things of all time.
It almost sounds like a good plot to a movie, and it was. Ride Like a Girl. How quickly after the win did someone approach you about making a movie about your life?
It was straight after, like December the next month. I remember Stevie and I were at the races at Randwick, and Rachel Griffiths hunted me down, and she said, I really want to make the film about your story. And I was like, oh my God, you know, like blown away by the thought of it. And it was only a couple of months later we signed her up. She was, you know, seemed like the right person for the job, and I think she did such an amazing job with the films. It was. And
what about the actor that played you, Teresa Palmer? Were you happy with that? Did you have much say in it?
No, well, I left.
Was it a bit weird watching someone play your life?
Oh, so weird. Could you imagine it yourself? Who would?
Well, actually, I've been approached by Richard Gere, but. He's 20 years too old, let's be honest here. But Teresa's more in your age group.
Yeah. Teresa was beautiful, and Teresa, the connection she had with Stevie was one of the greatest parts. You know, seeing Stevie being up on the big screen playing himself, one of the main roles is just amazing.
Well, you must be so proud of what he's done with his life anyway, but to actually act in a major film, it's unbelievable.
I know, what an experience for him to have. And you know, it's so good for people with Down syndromes to see. Like, Stevie is so funny and so smart and so capable. Like, for him to be out there is just, it was like one of the best things for us.
So who's the bigger name in the family these days, you or Stevie?
I think we definitely have conceded that we're Stevie's brother or sister. And he said to my brother recently, my brother Andrew said to him jokingly, oh mate, can I get your autograph? He goes, yeah, you can get a picture as well if you like. It's like, who does he think
I'm hearing it's in his blood acting now. I'm hearing Home and Away are keen to get get him in there.
Yeah, well, he loves home and away, and there's been talk about it, so imagine like that would be another dream come true.
That'd be fantastic. You're still riding, but now you're starting to spend more time training. So how do you find that balance, and how is it training other riders and not being out there yourself?
Well, that's why I still got my jockey's license. It is hard to hand over the reins because, like, all my career, I was so dedicated and so onto every, element. And, if someone sort of switches off for a second, you know it. But I love training. I love the new element of the challenge of it. So something that I'm passionate to get into more. And, you know, the riding will wean out slowly.
Just
but,
every now and again, you just got to go have a ride, haven't you? Get it out of the system.
Too hard just to stop stone cold, but I think that day is coming. Probably another year left in me.
Now, Channel 7 Cricket got some really keen owners. We've got Brendan McCullum, the Kiwi. We've got Ricky Ponting. Who's a fast horse that they can get involved with?
Well, we've actually
stable?
Saw Ricky up there before. We've got a really nice helmet gelding with First Light Racing. Got 5% left in him. His name's Helmet.
He'll buy 500%.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's possible. He's very rich, Rick.
Well, he's a nice horse to get into. He's ready to race at the end of the month, so might have to hit him up.
Hey, and what's next? Training? What else have you got going on?
Just mainly focusing on the training. We're setting up, we've got a website that we're launching in the next few days.
Yeah, we're plugging it just down there, Michelle.
Yeah, there it is. And so we'll hopefully launch that in 3 or 4 days' time and really hopefully get full on into the training and get some
And what's the ultimate goal as a trainer?
Obviously, the Holy Grail, the Melbourne Cup. It's everyone's dream in Australia to either train or ride one. So ridden one, it'd be nice to train one.
You know what I'm hearing here? I'm hearing a sequel to Riding Like a Girl. It'll be Train Like a Lady. Can we go with that?
Yep, we're happy with that.
Michelle Payne, thanks for joining us on Lunch with Flem. You're an absolute star.
Thank you.